It's hard to pinpoint all the reasons that are making life seem so much more difficult these days. With the popping up of so many technological advancements, things are continuously changing before our very eyes. We've become so used to convenience and immediate gratification that we often forget how to patiently wait. And when we have to endure putting ourselves on hold for a while, it can feel like an absolute eternity, right? Welcome to Helen Barton on YouTube, here to guide you on your very own discovery journey to uncover the true you and positively sparkle. I was queuing in the bank the other day, as what I needed to do couldn't be done online. There were only 2 bank tellers and it was really busy. There were still 8 customers ahead of me. Know the feeling? First, I automatically assessed the situation. Is it worth waiting so long? Would it be better to return tomorrow? Or should I come back later and get it over and done with? I took a few deep breaths, smiled at everybody, and I checked in with my core values, particularly choice, consciousness, and understanding. I chose to wait my turn and was grateful that I had the time to do so. There I was with everyone else patiently standing in line, and we couldn't help but overhear raised voices as the bank guy repeatedly asked the lady at his window to choose between withdrawing the €3,000 cash daily limit for 3 days consecutively, or send the total amount she wanted to by internet to whomever she needed to give it to. There were 3 of them talking, a mix of Spanish, English and French. Her advisor was trying to help and translate bits here and there. People were starting to shuffle in the queue, becoming impatient, as the French lady took her absolute time to understand her options and decide what to do. But eventually the transaction was completed successfully, and there was actually a noticeable sigh of relief in the room. Everyone went back to looking at their phone screens. Many times, new rules and technological advances seem to make daily life harder rather than easier, especially becoming more challenging to communicate and connect with others. I often wish for the days of pen and paper, handwritten letters, and the freedom to exchange cash, whatever amount we like, when we choose to. Enjoy more personal warmth as we greet neighbours in our friendly local shops. But time has moved on. There's no way to avoid the numerous changes arriving everywhere. But it's important to remember that we all face certain difficulties in life. We're not the only ones. Most of us are struggling with something, and no one has it completely figured out. But it's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget what's truly important. But if we can remember to be conscious of what's meaningful to us, and as the old saying goes, do as you would be done by, the best we can do is to support one another, be kind, and try to make the world a tiny little bit better, one day at a time. So my thought today is that perhaps we need to remember that we can choose to take a step back when we need to. Enjoy some time out to appreciate the simpler things in life. Go to the beach, maybe plan an outing in the countryside for a picnic or something. Or simply enjoy a walk and take time to think about what you are constantly thinking about, and whether we could do with some inner focus. Life's too short to constantly be stressed out. We often get into automatic mode and miss the whole point of how precious life can be. So stepping back and not sweating the small stuff can make life a lot easier. It's good to remind ourselves that we always have the power to choose our own personal attitude. So next time you find yourself feeling frustrated, remember that life is too short to spend your time feeling frustrated, angry and resentful, and it's a great idea to check in with your thoughts. Become more conscious of your breathing. Take a few deep inhales and exhales and remind yourself who you truly are. After all, tomorrow is another day. Anyway, finally, when I'd had enough of self-reflection and people watching in the bank, I brought my focus back to my options and opened up the iPages app on my phone. I started writing some notes for this very YouTube video, and I felt calm and happy as I took back control, rather than be pending orders from a numbers machine on the wall telling me when I was allowed to move forwards. We can't control everything that happens in the world, but we can control how we react to it. And by being more mindful of our thoughts and emotions, we can choose to focus on the positive and make life easier, one day at a time. The reason why life can be so difficult these days can vary from person to person, of course, but your personal growth and transformation should comfort you every time you look back and recognize how far you've actually come. Knowing your core values helps you to stay on track with what's important to you. And when you know what you stand for, it's easier to make clearer decisions, both big and small. If you can, when you find yourself having to wait your turn, why not try to share a smile with those around you? It's sure to make everyone's day just a little bit brighter. What do you think? How do you deal with cues? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Yours in truth.